guys, Jonathan here with JD Stairs. We're installing one of our single stringer bolt together stairs today, and we're going to walk you through the process on how to get that done. So let me flip this around. There you go. Okay, so here's the opening. You can see here we're just unloading our stringers now. It's about 7:30 in the morning, so we'll see how this goes today. Just to get you started, you'll have a set of plans that are drawn out for your house. And it'll have all the details you need. And typically, the first thing you need to do is look at this plan view to kind of see where your stringers are going to go. So you'll want to check your opening sizes, make sure that all the openings match, that there were no hiccups anywhere before you start putting anything in the air. And in this case, we have a beam that runs across here, across the landing, and then the two stringers connect here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up and measure this distance here, so we make sure we get this beam in the right place, and then we're going to hoist that up in the air. You'll see here your elevation. So this is going to tell you how far from the concrete floor here to the center of this tube. And we're going to set up some kickers on the wall and stick that up on the wall. I got some time lapse going, so you can see that as well. And I'll just pop in and out of the time lapse to give you some instructions on how to put this together. Okay, so it took a little bit longer today because the backing wasn't in. You want to make sure that you have backing, strong connections wherever you're going to attach to the wall. That obviously takes all the weight of the stair. You can see what we're doing. We just threw our brace up here, kind of set it on the blocking up there, and hooked up a chain hoist. That's a really easy way to raise a stair up. This one's going in between two walls, so it's usually really tight to fit. So they're gonna take it up and kind of stick it in the framing and then twist it. Sorry for my hand there. Twist it straight, and then we'll screw it in place. You can see what he's doing now. He's got these 1/2-inch flange bolts with a lock washer. He's up inside. There's an access hole on top. He's just reaching his hand down inside. There'll be 4 bolts. That's what connects one stringer to the next. So this is the lower flight. And so he's gonna kind of tighten those up, and then we'll hang this upper flight. Okay, so you can see the stringers are up now. One important thing to do is just put 1 or 2 screws in as you're building the stair, because sometimes you need slight modifications, and so you don't want to throw all the screws in until towards the end. So now that everything's up, everything fits, it's where it's supposed to be. Now we're putting all the screws in. One nice thing about the stringers you'll see is these plates. Let me zoom in here. So they have these slotted holes. That makes it really nice when you're installing. Sometimes you got to move it just a little bit. And so we had just put 4 screws in, and we actually needed to move this about 1/4 inch when we put the upper flight in. So we just loosen these screws off just a little bit, and then you can move this and then get everything bolted together. So when you set the stair, you need to check the top and bottom rise. 99% of the time, when you have a code issue on a stair, it's the top and bottom rise. So when you look at your plans, not only do we give you, the basement or the rough floor here to the bottom of the stringer. So you need that first to set that tube that braces the landing. But then when you set it up, you need to make sure that these measurements are correct and that your finished floor thickness is correct. So we want to go 3 and 15/16 from the concrete to the top of our plate here on the bottom, And up here, we want to be 10 1/16 from the top of plywood to the top of this plate, okay? So we threw a tread bracket on here when we were setting that top flight to make sure that we had this 10 1/16. That's so that your rises are the same after you put your finished floor on. So there's 3/8 finished floor up here, and there's 1/2 inch finished floor downstairs. So make sure as you're getting it set that you're checking those dimensions. If something's off there, then at the end, when you get your finished floor in, there could be an issue. So you can see all the treads are on now. It's about 10:30. We're about ready to put the temp treads on. When you're putting these brackets on, you just kind of come in here. You can see there's 4 bolts there on the inside. They're welded from the inside, so you don't see any welds on the outside. You just pretty much just stick a square on there and just put the 4 bolts on. It's a little oversized, so you can move it just a little bit. So holding the square will get it squared up, and we checked them all for level, and square pretty much directs them to be level. So you can do a little bit of both. You can also see the hole in the middle. That's for wiring lighting. If you want to light your treads, we pre-wire them for lighting. Not pre-wire, but we prep them for lighting. One other thing you might notice, this one is unfinished. We can do them powder coated, unpowder coated, just depending on the client's needs. This one, they wanted to do the paint themselves. So actually we'll paint it, but they wanted it painted instead of powder coated. So if you don't want the powder coat, then just let us know. Otherwise we'll deliver it powder coated and it'll be finished, ready to go. I'm standing here on the landing. You can see all the treads from the second floor down coming in. Give you kind of a look here. This is what the landing looks like. So you've got 4 bolts in each side. They go into 4 that way and 4 that way. So when you set the stringer, you pull this up in the air, reach your hand in there, put those 4 bolts in with lock washers, and then you're all good and set on your connection. Same thing right here where I'm standing. Then after that's on, you put these landing plates on. Those will be to attach your landings. They're countersunk on the bottom, countersunk on the top for screws to go in. And then we'll just put some temp treads on. All right, it's 11:23, so we've been here a little under 4 hours. Stair's all installed. We use LVL for the temp treads, so this will stay this way through construction. Nice thing about putting it in early is you can use it as your main stair, and then in this case where we are painting it after the fact, we'll come in right around closing time. After we put the handrail in, we'll spray the handrail and the stair all at the same time, so it's 100% finished. So that's how it looks. Walk up for you. Up here. Take that piece out of the way. There it is.